Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back! Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. It's 6:08 or thereabouts. Monday, September 12th, 61 degrees, getting up to a very nice 76 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join our conversation. We are now joined by friend of the show and friend to all men everywhere. And women, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway,
love them.
Yeah, we love them all. It's Jim Gillick. We're talking Boy Scouts. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, Jeremy. Thanks for having me back on the show.
So, absolutely. Thanks for coming. So, Jim and I were talking in the break about how he was shocked that I didn't have a better time, touring nature in the Pine Barrens.
It's just such in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
That we knew that this was something you were going to enjoy.
It's my type of thing. I'm definitely a roughing it kind of camping guy. That's been my thing. So why don't you tell us? It's we check in with you every few months, right? Mm-hmm. And it's now that we're back to school, right? And I'm sure that parents are kind of getting their schedules in place. Right, so tell us about Boy Scouts. Tell us what it is what's the sell here? What is Boy Scouts all about?
The elevator speech?
Yeah, give me the elevator speech.
So the elevator speech is basically Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but Boy Scouts specifically prepare kids for a better life, and we do that through a quality program of character, leadership, and positive achievement. I mean, when you think of the Scouts, what's the first thing that comes into your head, Jeremy? Usually,
the first thing that comes into my head is like camping and going out and being with nature,
and that is a lot.
And positive and building self-esteem is the biggest thing that I think of. Is like feeling like a place of self-worth kind of thing.
Well, that's fantastic, and that is really what we try and do in the goals of scouting. I mean, we're around for 107 years now, and for 107 years, we've had a program that people feel revolve around campfires and pocket knives. Right. And we love them, and it's true to a certain extent, and that's the hook we use. But really what we're about is, like we said, trying to develop kids, give them a sense of positive achievement, build that self-esteem, character building, and leadership. We do that through a quality program that has a lot of outdoor education. But what the kids get, all those merit badges that they earn, all those awards and things and achievements really are about learning how to set and achieve goals, how to go out there, and it does increase their sense of positive esteem.
Right.
So that's what we do.
So it's funny you say campfires and pocket knives. I'm sure in the 107 years, if you probably look 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, pocket knives were no issue, right? You gave a kid a pocket knife and off they went. Now there must be some kind of waiver that all the parents have to sign, right?
No, well, they still get them. It's funny, but they do have the certification, so there are certain awards and things like that they get, so they know how they use them safely. Right. So even when they're Cub Scouts, okay, they're allowed to get them at a certain point, or Boy Scouts at a certain point in time. Right. They get the knives, and they call it the Tote and Chip Award. And then nowadays there are certain knives that they're not allowed to use anymore. Right. So they kind of take a look at that, but.
What do you mean, like the what was it, like the butterfly knives?
The butterfly knives, the spring-loaded things.
Yeah,
to try and make sure that they.
There used to be kids. I remember when I was a kid. You probably remember it too. Kids used to bring those to school.
Oh yeah,
and it was like, and all the other kids were like, that kid, just stay away from that kid. He's got his knives with him today. Now now if a kid had a knife at school, it would be on the,
lockdown.
We would get a patch instant alert.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's a lockdown.
Yeah, it's a lockdown and everybody's out, right? Well, it's a different world we live in. Okay. So this is so it's fall recruitment period. So what does that mean for you?
Well, this is the big time of year, as you hit it right on the head, where kids are going back to school, moms and dads are trying to figure out their schedule, what are they doing for this time, what are they going to do with the kids this time of year? So now is when they start looking at their options, see what kinds of activities are there out there.
Right.
So this time of year, we go into just about all the schools in our community. We do a presentation for the young people to talk about scouting and what's involved and how much fun it is. And then they have a group of sign-up nights. So at bescout.org, moms and dads can log on to that site and they can find out, and it uses Google Maps, what are all the scout places that are nearby them. And try and find out what their options are.
And so what is your prime age for kids kind of first having a scouting experience?
Well, scouting starts from first grade up through their 21 years old. Actually, this year, for the first time, we've started a new pilot program in our community called Lion Cubs. So this year, for the first time in select areas, we're getting involved with the kindergarten age kids. So we're trying to get them right as they first get into school. But most kids join the program probably first, second, third grade.
Gotcha. Lion Cubs.
Yep.
I was thinking right away. I was thinking of Lion Hillary. It's amazing the way I just went. I took. I don't know. That's where my head goes now.
Just drive straight there.
Yeah. I don't know why. Okay. But at what age? So I know that in some things, in some activities, for example, sports, right? Like if you're, like, I'll give you an example, like soccer, right? If you haven't played before, right, and you decide you're going to play when you're in 5th or 6th grade, you're probably already way behind. Okay. Right, like you're never going to get to a level unless you're a superior athlete. You're never going to catch up to be a really good player. How does it work with scouts? Like if I start in 4th grade, am I okay? If I start in 6th grade, am I okay? How do you do that?
Absolutely, and thank you for mentioning it. Kids can join scouting at any time during the year, but really at any age group and get caught right up because it is age specific. So like I talked about, the Lion Cubs is what they do for kindergarten kids, but then they progress into different ranks every year. I joined scouting, I think, when I was a kid. I was 8 or 9 years old when I got involved myself. And I just I caught up over the course of a year or so. But you can really jump in anywhere and start swimming. So for the middle school age kids, that's when they transition into Boy Scouts, or for young men and women would be when they'd cross over into, if they want to join the exploring program or something, which is another little different program. But they can really join at any point in time throughout the course of the year or their lives.
Right. And so I think, and I think we've talked about before, I think with Boy Scouts, it's one of those things that, I think parents, especially when you're in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, you're trying to have little Johnny or little Susie try a number of different things on and see what really resonates with them or what they're really into. Not everybody just goes right into a sport or goes right into dancing or goes right into an instrument and says, oh, I love it and that's what I want to do. But I'm sure there are kids who go right into, just like I'm sure there are kids who go into Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and right away it's not what they love. But then again, there's a whole other group of kids who, they start to do it and they really find a spot, right? It's really kind of what makes them feel great about themselves.
It is. And there was actually a study that was done by Tufts University not too long ago. And it talked about the value of scouting and how it impacts kids. And one of the things they discovered was that kids who are involved in scouting are more likely to be involved in more activities, including sports, usually something affiliated with their church or religious institution as well, too. So kids who are getting active in scouts are usually involved in more than one other thing in the community as well, too. So there's no reason they couldn't do both.
Very cool. Okay, when we come back, Jim Gillick, we're talking Boy Scouts. When we come back, can we talk about the Explorer program a little bit, dive into that one a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right. And also, listen, we have to have our debate, which we always have, about popcorn versus cookies. And I will say, I always get cookies when the Girl Scouts comes in. And I'm just saying, somebody's empty-handed.
We're going to have to
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.
Get more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin at our website, WOBMAM.com. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We're somewhere in the 621 range, right? That's how we roll now. So tell me about the Explorer program. You touched on it a little bit, but I don't think I have it yet. So talk to me.
So most people aren't as familiar with Explorer. We talked about the Boy Scouts and what they do and how they go about doing it with campfire and pocket knives. Exploring is a program, first of all, it's for young men and women. So it's a coeducational program that starts in middle school, goes through high school, up to 21 years old. But as opposed to a lot of the outdoor elements that the Boy Scout program has, Exploring delivers that same character, education, leadership experience for kids, but with a focus on careers. So what we do is we usually work in conjunction with the local school districts, find out what kind of careers, what kinds of things kids are interested in, and then we partner with local businesses or other organizations in the area to try and help put an experience together for kids where they can learn a little bit about that, like job shadowing. We have a great new post that we're starting up this fall with Community Medical Center. We're working with Dr. Terry Kubiel and the staff there, where 1 week they may be learning about careers in pediatric medicine. They go back a couple weeks later, and they're going to learn a little bit about OBGYN, or maybe the back end side of careers in medicine, hospital administration.
You mean like proctology?
I knew you were. I saw the look on your face, and I'm like, ooh, can I bail out of that one? Hospital administration.
Oh,
we'll say.
you knew you threw it up there for me. You knew you were in trouble. Yeah, that was too easy. That sounds cool. I mean, I don't think that people realize, kind of how much education is involved with Boy Scouts. Again, I think, you think about campfire. I think about like rubbing two sticks together and making a fire. I'm like, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, if you think about,
can you actually do that? By the way,
yes, you can. Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
Wilderness survival. Once upon a time, I did, but I find the matches are easier.
You can't do it anymore.
It's hard, man.
Really?
It really is a pain. Yeah. No, the bow method of doing it does work, but it's rough.
They should do. I was just thinking about this. They should do like a Survivor. Right, like the show that was, Survivor, but it should be all like executive directors of like Boy Scouts of America. We should see who like the greatest Boy Scout executive director is.
Not this guy. They did have something a couple of years ago that was called "Are You Tougher Than a Boy Scout?" where they had a couple of Eagle Scouts and people who went up against them in different challenges.
Oh yeah,
it was on like the National Geographic Channel for like 2 seasons. One of the guys who producer for Survivor did it. It was a good show.
Oh, cool. All right, so Explorer program, we got that. Now, tell me about Operation Halloween. I'm not gonna lie, my favorite holiday of the year is Halloween.
Oh, then you got to come
by
out.
a lot.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Operation Halloween. What do we got?
At the Joseph Sitta Scout Reservation in Barnegat is where we have Operation Halloween every year. And it really is a weekend-long event. It's usually the weekend just before Halloween. So I think this year it's the 22nd, 23rd of October. But what we do is we have it's Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and they usually have Pumpkin Street during the day. So there are mazes for the kids, and the kids get to come and the younger kids get to get dressed up. They have like a little haunted Halloween maze, those kinds of things. But at nighttime, they have, in conjunction with the Southern Ocean Rotary Club, they put on a haunted trail. And it really is, my wife is a Halloween crazy. And we do the thing, we go down to the penitentiary every year down in Philadelphia. Yeah? And usually a couple times a year I'm going on some kind of a haunted outing with her.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what the kids do and the leaders do at Operation Halloween is just as good as any of those. They will scare the bejesus out of you.
Yeah.
And they get a couple thousand people that they put through this trail over the weekend. And it is fantastic. So they do that. There's usually a haunted trail where they can ride, like a hayride, and then there's a walking trail that they do also. But the kids put together scares, and the whole community becomes part of it. So they have different groups have up booths, and some of them are selling, food vendors or other nonprofits that are talking about things that they have going on in the community. So it really is a great way to bring the community together.
And where does this take place again?
It's the Joseph Sitta Scout Reservation, which is in Barnegat, New Jersey. So it's a couple hundred acres in Barnegat.
Yeah, which is, and let's be fair, I mean, Barnegat's scary on a regular day. So, I mean, right, Zach? We get down to the 609 down there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's dangerous over there.
Yeah,
you're still in Ocean County, Jerry.
I know.
You'll be fine.
I know. It's still Ocean County, but it's Yeah, it's
we'll get you back in a canoe.
Listen, that's not going to happen. Okay, when we come back, you're going to have to do this again because you're going to have to sell me on the popcorn drive.
Absolutely.
Okay, because the battle royale rages on, right? Popcorn versus cookies. I will tell you, I have sworn off Girl Scout cookies. I won't eat it anymore. I can't. My hips will not support it.
Popcorn's much healthier.
Popcorn is much healthier. So we're going to talk about that. Jim Gillick, Boy Scouts of the Jersey Shore. When we come back, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. It's about 6:26 or thereabouts, right? I don't want you to. I gave you the time. It's 6:26-ish. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after this.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 6:35 Monday, September 12th, 61 degrees, getting up to 76 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the radio pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Enjoy the conversation.
Wow.
We are joined by Jim Gillick. Jim Gillick. We're talking Boy Scouts, of course. And, before we talk popcorn, because we have to have a serious popcorn conversation this morning. But before we talk that, we were talking in the break about really Boy Scouts and careers. And I never thought of it this way because I guess I just never thought of it that way. But you said, that there's really a lot of work that the Boy Scouts are doing around helping kids kind of even think about what careers they might be interested in pursuing. So why don't you talk about that for a minute? Well,
and that's, again, it kind of goes back to the Exploring program and one of the things we're doing. But if we talk about how we can serve families in our community, we do have the traditional scouting programs. But if you think about it, what did you want to do? What did you want to do when you grew up, Jeremy? Was this it? Were you the radio?
No, I wanted to. I wanted to be Donald Trump. Not exactly Donald Trump, but that's what I wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to be a lawyer, and I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. No offense to any of the lawyers that are out there, but I think I went 2.5 years in college when I realized that this was not going to be my thing, and just all the writing, all the things that went into it, it just was not what I wanted. And how do we have a program for young people where they get an opportunity to try and explore different kinds of careers? So if they're interested in the law, do we have a program that teaches them about different aspects of the law? Maybe they like it, maybe they love it and say this is exactly what they want to do. But maybe they don't. Maybe they want to try and see what engineering is like. So can they go from law to engineering to medicine? A lot of our programs that are already up and running, especially in the Toms River area, the fire department, the police department, EMS, those kinds of things. So it exposes kids to a wide variety of careers. And nowadays, I think that's probably one of the best things that we can give the kids is an idea of maybe ideas of where they want to go with their life. What are some possible avenues for them to take?
Absolutely. That's awesome. And it's never too early to start talking to kids about that kind of having those discussions. It's funny. I was reading an article in the Times this morning talking about at what age you start talking to your kids about how much money you make and, and finances and things like that. And, obviously all the studies say the earlier the better, right? As soon as when you start talking to them about budgeting and about careers, about things like that, it really kind of starts moving them ahead. You don't have to settle on what their career is going to be at 8 years old, but they should start to have some thoughts.
Anytime we do an in-school presentation with the kids where we're talking about different kinds of careers and things, the first question they always come up with is what's the bank? What are you going to make? How much you're making? What's involved? And they do. And we've talked about exploring ones that we're trying to get restarted up around here, where we have them in careers in banking,
right,
where they learn about finance, they learn a little about it. And if you want to take a group of kids, no matter where they're from, and really capture their attention, start talking about money.
Yeah.
They all start paying attention.
Now, you don't do that Wells Fargo course on how to open bogus accounts, do you?
No.
I just wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep it local.
Oh, I didn't know what you were, exactly.
Creative banking.
Creative banking. So let's do this now.
All right.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, you do make a valid point because I love Girl Scout cookies. Mm-hmm. I do. They're delicious. But when you look at the caloric content, I like 3 cookies is like pretty much that's your daily fat intake for the day. You're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're telling me that you feel better about the healthy aspects of popcorn.
It is, and I'm not going to disparage any other product.
No, I understand that.
I can't do that.
I'll do that for you.
I appreciate that. No, but the popcorn, it actually is. Obviously, it's a healthy alternative in terms of a snack goes. There are no trans fats in the product, so for those who care about that, they took out all that good stuff a couple years ago. But it's a fantastic product, and obviously goes to help support kids in their local programs. Over 70 cents on the dollar for the popcorn campaign goes to help support local programs.
And give me an example of some of the flavors that we got going on.
Oh, this year the good one, Jeremy. Jalapeno cheddar is a nice one.
Oh, you know what? I had my first Smart Food. Now has their first jalapeno. They had jalapeno ranch.
Did they really?
Yeah, and we had a split decision in the family as to whether we liked it or not. I liked it as long as there was a beer involved. So so you got jalapeno cheddar.
There's a buffalo for them. White cheddar is one that they have, which is a nice one. Then of course there's the regular butter and Butter Light popcorn, kettle corn. We still sell an awful lot for people who have the old-fashioned popping machines, popping tins, those kinds of things.
Like Jiffy Pop.
Exactly.
Yeah, or like
so they come in the buckets.
Orville Redenbacher.
Yeah, those are for the hardcore.
I know it's hardcore. All right, so where do I go? Where do I go if I want to learn more about the Boy Scouts? Where do I go if I want to figure out how I can get me some popcorn? Where do I do all this?
For all things Scouts, JerseyShoreScouts.org, scoutswithans.org. We'll have a link to all of them. You can buy popcorn through them. There's another website, trailsend.com. But you can call your local Scout Service Center. We did talk about the membership recruitment. Again, JerseyShoreScouts.org. We're happy to help you out. Be a Scout, BEAScout.org is the best way. If you're interested in getting involved or think it might be something for your kids to be interested in, that's probably the one place to go that uses Google Maps and just says, here's the one that's closest to us. And they can shop around.
Very cool.
But we'll bring some kids in. I didn't see we were going to have a microwave here to bring in some popcorn.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this to be threatening, but it's going to come off that way. You're not allowed back here again until I get some popcorn.
I'll bring a cute little kid in
I don't
here to hustle
I'm
some
probably
for you.
not supposed to say. There's a thing I'm not supposed to say, Jim. I'm not supposed to say that you can come on the show in exchange for something. I can't say that. Just like I can't mention that we're in the middle of a ratings period and that people should say WOBM AM when they're when they have to say what they listen to in the morning. I'm not supposed to say those things. But occasionally.
But if I were to come to WOBM AM with a kid and some jalapeno popcorn,
and a ratings book,
we may have something we can work with.
That would be a good day. Jim Gillick, Boy Scouts of the Jersey Shore, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me on, Jeremy.
All right, wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Back with more after this.